What's going on, guys? It's Greg here, aka NYPrepper. It is Thursday, September 14th, 2023, and I have an emergency alert to share with you guys. Right now, it is 9:22 a.m. Eastern Time here in the United States, and we have some major breaking news coming from Romania. So, the Romanian government has announced that a third Russian drone crashed Romania, in Romanian territory. And what's concerning about this one is that it was found 14 kilometers or 9 miles from the Ukrainian border near the town of Nufaru in the Danube Delta. Okay. So this is huge news, guys. The first two drones were found just right over the border, about 1 or 2 miles away from the Ukrainian border. Now, this one is 9 miles into Romania. And what's also concerning is that residents received alerts on their phones yesterday when these drones were coming towards Ukraine and possibly towards Romania. They were receiving emergency alerts on their phone. So that is absolutely huge news, guys. Okay. And Romania is now building bomb shelters in areas near the Ukrainian border, and they're going to be setting up an air raid alert system so that residents close to the Ukrainian border will be getting air raid alerts and alerts on their phones anytime there's a drone attack coming towards the Romanian border. And what's also interesting is that residents in Romania living close to the Ukrainian border have reported hearing drones flying over Romanian territory quite often. Okay, so officially, the Romanian government is saying now 3 drones crashed in Romania, with the latest one crashing 14 kilometers deep into Romania. Okay, that is a NATO country, and the Romanian government summoned the Russian ambassador to explain the incident. And of course, the Romanian government is downplaying the situation, saying that, there's still a minimal threat to Romania because Romania is part of NATO. But if there was a minimal threat, why are they building bomb shelters and setting up an air raid system if there was a minimal threat? Okay, why did they evacuate an entire town on the border of Ukraine? They already did that. Okay, so let me just share some pictures with you guys. We also have some breaking news coming from Taiwan. Apparently, yesterday, the Taiwan Defense Ministry said that over 70 Chinese aircraft and naval vessels were detected near Taiwan between Wednesday morning and Thursday night. And this would be the most ever in a 24-hour period. Okay, this would be more than the December 2022 incident where there were like 70 aircraft. So this is going to be more than that. Okay, so this is the most amount of Chinese aircraft and naval vessels ever to approach Taiwan. And China is currently massing forces for a giant exercise near the Philippines. They have an aircraft carrier near the Philippines, and there's warships massing for this exercise. And we also have some major breaking news that Ukraine destroyed a Russian S-400 missile defense system in Crimea near Yevtoporia. Apparently, one of these S-400 missile defense systems is worth $1.2 billion. And the way that Ukraine was able to destroy this S-400 was they first attacked the radars using drones, suicide drones. And once they destroyed the radars, they then fired Neptune cruise missiles from naval drones and those cruise missiles destroyed the actual launching systems, okay? And this comes just a day after Ukraine destroyed those two Russian warships, one a Kilo class submarine and the other a Rapucha class amphibious landing ship. Okay. So it looks like Ukraine has their sights set on Crimea. They're targeting the Black Sea Fleet like they did 2 days ago with that missile strike, which, by the way, they used Storm Shadow missiles on those, the Russian sub and the Russian amphibious landing ship, okay, which are completely destroyed now. And that was the first Russian submarine to ever be destroyed by Ukraine. They officially destroyed a Russian submarine for the first time on September the 13th, 2023, which was yesterday. Okay, that was the Kilo class submarine. The Rostov on Don was the name of it. And so they used the Storm Shadow cruise missiles, and obviously Russia's not going to be happy about that. And they're going to blame NATO and the UK and say that, NATO and the UK are basically parties to the conflict because they're giving cruise missiles to Ukraine that Ukraine is using to destroy their most valued assets. Okay. This is huge news that Ukraine destroyed an S-400 system because that allows them to target Crimea more, okay, with more missile strikes and various other types of strikes with drones and different things. So that clearly shows that Ukraine is preparing for some kind of an attack on Crimea to take Crimea back because they're trying to weaken the Crimean air defense. They took out the S-400, and then they're trying to weaken the Black Sea Fleet. So this is huge news, guys, and we know that Crimea is one of Putin's red lines. So we'll have to wait and see what Putin does. But destroying an S-400 system is huge news. Okay, so let me read to you a little bit more details about this situation in Romania because it is very, very concerning. Let me show you some pictures. So here's the bomb shelters that the Romanian government is building near the border of Ukraine. Okay, you can see these upside down U's made out of concrete. Basically, you would just run in there and sit down, and they piled a bunch of sandbags on top of these. Okay, here's a closer look, and they have the sandbags on the inside, and then they also piled sandbags on the outside. So if there was a minimal threat like the Romanian government is saying, why are they doing that? Okay, why are they, putting bomb shelters, evacuating towns, creating an air raid system, and all the while NATO is not really doing anything about it at all. So the war is already spilling over into NATO. And as of right now, 9:30 a.m. Eastern time here in the U.S., we already have 16 emergency action messages broadcasted today. And an emergency action message is basically a nuclear attack option that is broadcasted by the Pentagon, and it's sent out to our Ohio class submarines, which are the nuclear armed submarines the U.S. has. So already 15 today after news of this third drone crashing in Romania and all of those Chinese fighter jets flying near Taiwan. Okay, let me read this article to you. This is coming from the BBC. Romanians living close to the border with Ukraine received emergency alerts early Wednesday, urging them to remain calm and take shelter as Russia hit Ukrainian ports across the Danube. The defense ministry said it had found Russian drone parts on Romanian territory for the third time in a week. Makeshift concrete shelters are being set up by the Romanian military, but its government has told residents the risk of a cross-border escalation was minimal. Now it has issued a formal complaint to Moscow about Russian drones entering Romanian airspace. Shortly after midnight local time, residents in 8 villages in eastern Romania started receiving messages on their phones that warned of the possibility of falling objects from the surrounding airspace. Keep calm, take shelter in basements or in civil protection shelters, it said. In the absence of a shelter, stay inside the house, away from the windows and exterior walls. Romania's defense ministry said it had detected a group of drones heading towards Ukrainian ports just across the Danube from Romania that Russia has increasingly targeted in recent weeks. It said the warning had been issued because of possible cases of drone impact in areas around Tulcea and Nufaru. The alert was lifted at 5 a.m. local time. Residents in border villages say that they can often hear drones flying over Romanian territory. Okay, so this alert was going on for 5 hours because the alert started at midnight and it ended at 5 a.m. local time. When the sirens wail at night, that's when you should expect the drones to come. Kostika Tanasi, a resident in Ploru on the Ukraine-Romania border, told the AFP news agency, "It shakes like an earthquake when a drone approaches," 70-year-old farmer Georgi Puflia said. Romania, a member of the NATO Defense Alliance, has condemned Russian attacks on grain infrastructure, blah, blah, blah. Its defense ministry also announced it had found fragments that are from a drone similar to those used by the Russian army on a hill 2 kilometers south of Nufaru. It's hard to see the area from the ground. You can see it better from the air. That's why the crash site was first spotted from a helicopter, local military commander Antonel Vatamanu said. The Russian ambassador to Bucharest was summoned to the Romanian Foreign Ministry on Wednesday evening to be told the drone incursions were unacceptable. Okay, so this is huge news, guys. Absolutely huge. Okay, and here's a map of the area where these drones crashed in Romania. You could see Nufaru here. Okay, so the drone fragments were found 2 kilometers south of Nufaru, which is at least, 10 plus miles from the Ukrainian border. So this is huge news, guys. Absolutely huge. Make sure you guys are getting prepared. This war is continuing to escalate. There's no end in sight. Vladimir Putin met with Kim Jong-un the other day. And, that's biblical, okay? The kings of the East prophecy, if you read the book of Revelation, the kings of the East march towards Israel and they form an alliance with Magog and Gog, which is Russia and Iran and North African countries. They form a 200 million man army and they march towards Israel and they go to war with Jesus himself. Okay, the kings of the East. All right. These are Asian countries. Okay. It's only the Asian countries that can make an army of 200 million because they have a huge population. Even North Korea has a huge population. China has a huge population. All right. And now North Korea is going to be working closely with Russia. They're giving Russia artillery for the war in Ukraine. And in return, I'm sure Russia is going to be giving them some nuclear technology for their ballistic missiles. So this is all Bible prophecy coming to pass. Okay, the kings of the East. It's the foundation is being laid for this. Okay, right now. Let me read to you about Taiwan. Okay, Taiwan's defense ministry said in a statement that 68 Chinese aircraft and 10 naval vessels were detected near the island between Wednesday morning and Thursday morning. Taipei had already said some of the planes and warships were heading to an unspecified area of the Western Pacific to conduct joint sea and air training with China's Shandong aircraft carrier. The Shandong, one of 2 operational aircraft carriers in the Chinese fleet, was detected Monday around 60 nautical miles southeast of Taiwan, heading into the Western Pacific, Taipei authorities said. Japan's defense ministry also said Wednesday its Navy had detected 6 ships, including frigates, destroyers, 1 fast combat support ship, and the Shandong, sailing through waters some 400 miles south of Kojima Island, east of Taiwan. It also confirmed that jets and helicopters had been detected taking off and landing from the Shandong. China's military has been asked to develop capabilities to take over Taiwan, one expert said. Those military exercises are aimed at developing and practicing those capabilities, said Bonnie Glaser, a China expert at Washington, D.C.'s German Marshall Fund. We should expect its trend to continue with growing pressure on Taiwan. Okay, so they're practicing to attack Taiwan. That's what these exercises are for. Okay, and we also have warships massing near the Philippines. Lately we've been seeing a lot of stuff going on between China and the Philippines. So just wanted to give you guys this quick update. I will be doing another update later on today, but this is just major breaking news. So stay tuned to my channel. I will be doing another update later on today with more breaking news. I have a lot more news to cover. So that's pretty much it for this one, guys. The good news is you have time to prepare. So make sure you're preparing as much as possible. Okay, do whatever you need to do. Figure out what you need. Everybody's different. Everybody lives in different areas, different climates. So figure out what you need. You definitely need food, water, shelter, and security. Okay, those are the main things, and you would definitely want to have at least a few weeks supply of food, and you want to have a good source of water. Okay, you don't want to rely on plumbing to get you water. Okay, so think of how you would get water in an SHTF situation if there's a nuclear war with Russia. You're not going to have plumbing, okay, especially if you live in a city. If you live in the country, you have your own well, different story. You might be able to run a generator and get your pipes pressurized, but otherwise you need to think of collecting rainwater or finding some other water source that's not contaminated. So that's pretty much it, guys. I'll keep you updated. Take care. God bless. And don't forget the 3 Ps: prepare, practice, and persevere.